to Kickoff, baby.
All right. The countdown to Kickoff. Yes. And the Georgia Bulldogs, Austin Peay, the Governors, you said, Smooch?
The governor.
The governor?
Yeah.
So, yes, the Governors and the Bulldogs in Athens this Saturday at 3:30 on SEC Network Plus. So you need to make sure you go ahead and find out if you have that or if you're not going to be on the site in Sanford Stadium.
If you've got the total ESPN package, you have it. But you also, if your cable provider provides SEC Network, you can get it through there. But you have to stream it. Every team has to stream one game a year. This is Georgia's.
Yeah, so make sure you know that before you get really frustrated about 3:30 tomorrow.
You might want to log in around 2:30.
Yeah, check it out. But yeah, Smooch did a little bit of research on Austin Peay. They did play Middle Tennessee, the Blue Raiders, this past weekend. They did get a W, so these are two undefeated teams, whatever that means.
Right.
Two undefeated teams, and this is, in effect, the last, I would suspect, for Georgia in terms of how they approach it and how our fans are looking at it as the last preseason game before things get a little crazy. Smooch, what do you know about Austin Peay?
Well, they had an impressive performance. There's especially the first three scores. At one point, they're up 21-0. They came out. This is an FCS team, Middle Tennessee, and they took it to them. And so that's all you can do. You beat the team that's out in front of you. They played well. They were uber aggressive. There were some mistakes and things like that, but aggressive team, a spread. They keep everything wide. The quarterback loves to throw it. That doesn't mean he's great at it, but he does love to throw it. Some quick receivers in Shamar Kirk, Nate Garnett, and Javius Bond. Javius Bond is their punt returner. He also broke a big one in that game. So
you think they're going to try to test our DBs with that passing game?
I think so. I think they're going to cut it loose. They do not play bully ball with the run game. Think of a run game similar to Tennessee's. Spread you out, jet motions, and hand the ball off and kind of hope for the best. Their rushing game just this past week. Now this is playing Middle Tennessee, right? 3.2 yards per carry. For their rushing game. Their high rusher was Cortland Simmons, and he came in right at 3.5 yards a carry. He had 10 carries, 35 yards. The quarterback had 11. Chris Parsons, the quarterback, he had 11 carries for 34 yards. And they only had one player average over 3 yards a carry, and that was a receiver that touched the ball twice. So they really didn't push the ball around, but early on, and like I said, they played the team that was in front of them and they beat them. But early on, they completed on a 36-yard long play and a 41-yard bomb, and both of those set up. I think those were the second and third scores. They went up 21-0 and just rode it out from there. I watched the game today on the treadmill. The part that led up to 21-0 was fun to watch. After that, it was kind of like having a root canal.
Not as much fun.
No, not as much fun. Lots of window dressing. I was telling you this over on defense, which I don't think we mentioned. I thought this deserved to be mentioned for Marshall, who, everybody they just acted like it was such a step down for Georgia to play Marshall.
Marshall disregarded them, yeah.
Yeah, and Marshall did not turn the ball over against the Georgia Bulldogs. I think that needs to be stated. No turnovers. There were 2 turnovers in the Austin Peay game, but they did not turn the ball over. I thought that was a good thing. But their defense, it looks like they, at least in this game, they're kind of selling out on the pass rush. Again, similar to Tennessee. Where the pressure is the most important thing, and the DBs are kind of left on an island. And for some reason, Middle Tennessee had little to no trouble early running the ball, and they just went away from it. I think I told you they had a first down run at one point. It was like 25 yards. The very next play they ran, and it was 8 yards. So it's 2nd and 2. You're over 30 yards into your drive. It's 2nd and 2, and they run 3 straight pass plays and turn the ball over on downs from 4th and 2. So they did have, I would say, Troop, the most impressive thing they did. They had a 17-minute, 9-play drive in the first half to go up 21-0. So take that for what it's worth. They played really, really well. And I heard Kirby speak today. I don't know if you heard that, but he's a big fan of their entire coaching staff.
Yeah, he said Kirby says the right things.
He does.
The coach of eternity goes deep. But I don't think this game obviously will be about Austin Peay. It'll be about Georgia and what they decide to do, and what Austin Peay is if they're going to try to throw the ball, and I would suspect the team to try to get rid of the ball in 2 to 2.5 seconds.
Right.
So quick passes. But you told me that they had some explosive plays against Middle Tennessee.
They did. They had explosive plays. The quarterback throws a pretty deep ball. It's the intermediate throws. It's like if you have to layer any layered throw, he's out of his element. But he'll throw the the little bubble screen, and then he'll chuck it deep. But I think it comes down like what do you want to see? Let's break it down. What do you want to see from Gunner, the running game, and the passing game, or the receiving game? We know what we're going to see on defense, right? We want to see a shutout and them flying to the ball, very similar to last week.
And I don't know if it amounts to what we see in this game, because Georgia is going to, in their scrimmages during the week, the practices, they will face better competition in the practice. And that's not hyperbole. That's the truth. Georgia's in their practice up to the game, they're going to face stiffer competition than they will in some of these preseason quote unquote games.
Very true.
And so they'll show, again, we said last week, earlier this week, they'll show you what they want to show you. Mm-hmm. Now, if they think they want to develop or get some rapport with some of the deep passing games, some of the in routes and some of those layered throws, then they will. But they don't have to, because they do it all week long against a better competition, against 5-star DBs that Georgia is littered with in their backfield. So it's kind of up for grabs.
That's an interesting point. So you're saying that it may be more, rather than say the offensive line get push or us connect for deep throws a couple of times, it may be more important to Kirby to play more players. That may be the focus.
Smooch, it is, because in practice during a week against top-notch competition, they may get 200 snaps against those guys. And on Saturday, some of these guys are getting 10, 15, 20 snaps.
Wow.
And just compare that. You got to know. It doesn't feel, as a fan, we're watching this, and this is supposed to be a finished product or working towards that, and you want to see what they're going to – this is showtime. Show me what you got. It's not showtime yet.
That's not how it works.
But it feels like it.
Yeah.
It's not, and it shouldn't be anywhere, but it is. Now on September 13th in Knoxville, you're going to see what they got. Yeah. But right now you won't, because they're not playing the same type of competition, and an undersized team on the lines of scrimmage shouldn't pose much of a problem, even though Georgia's probably going to play backups at their right guard and right tackle. I don't really expect Glover or Gaston or Ernest Green to play.
You can't stumble over those names, man. Somebody roasted you on TikTok
so
for stumbling over a name. You better be careful.
They're all so close, and some of those guys are new players. Yeah,
there's only 120 or so.
I mean, come on, yeah. and Glover is actually one of the backup centers, so he plays too. But Gaston Glover, Gaston and Ernest Green. Yeah, we don't know how much they're going to play. We don't know how much Dalen Everett's going to play. I'd say get him in there for a couple series.
Yeah,
because you don't really. Yeah, but again, they play tougher competition, and during the week, and that's the case for a lot of these schools that are playing. Maybe some directional schools early on, and that's okay. But if you approach, that's why we kind of criticize some teams that approach these games as trying to score as much points as possible and put these flash numbers up there, because Georgia is obviously trying to get players. I mean, so we look at the defensive backfield. Now, we didn't really talk about snap counts last week, We tried to get there. We never got there.
We're so excited.
But my hometown guy, DeMello Jones, who is probably the third or fourth string, maybe fourth string DB, he had the most snaps at DB. Why do you think that is?
Wow. Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Because they're developing players. They're getting you out there. They're putting you in situations. They're putting you on film. Mm-hmm. So when I say they're putting you on film, Smokes, they're putting you on film for them, for
Kirby.
us.
Yeah.
For Kirby to say, hey, the results, you didn't give up anything, or you didn't do this. But and he mentioned this, the process is more important, but you could have. But you would have if you're playing a significant threat.
Right.
So they want to see those things. They want to see where maybe you're weak or where maybe you're making mistakes. But Georgia does that. So 70 points, 70-0, 70-7, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Georgia's got their eye on a bigger prize. And so to approach this weekend, I would say as Austin Peay maybe a little bit better in some aspects. We don't know if the results will be better, but maybe a little better in some aspects than Marshall was. But they may be a better matchup for Georgia in terms to really turn the screws on.
The size difference is horrifying if you look at it. It's almost like a JV team playing a varsity team, the way they look. Yeah.
And if you don't play Gaston or Green on the right side of the offensive line, guess what? You're developing players who may have to play in a very, very important time or an important game down the road, and they won't walk out there just fresh or new to the situation, so that won't overwhelm them. But yeah, I mean, this is the countdown to kickoff. This is not a long show for you guys. We just wanted to kind of touch base here on a late Friday afternoon and let you know that we're thinking Georgia football, and that's kind of the injury situation is what it is. It's not bad. No. If you're expecting Gunnar Stockton to throw for 350 yards and Nate Frazier to rush for a buck 20, don't. That's not what this is about.
Right.
It's not about.
And they'd have to do it in the first half too, because they would have to be done really, really quickly. Yeah, it's not. I love everything that you're saying, because it is. There is a disconnect in the understanding with the casual Georgia fan. They want the car taken out of the garage and go out and drag race it.
Yes.
They want that type of thing, and that's not what Kirby is about in any way.
He's never done that.
He's never done it, and it's not going to happen. And if you're a stats person, I've said before, I truly believe there are Georgia fans that would rather have 2,000-yard receivers than win a national championship. I think that those people are out there. They want the numbers and the flash and all that. They're not going to have it. When it comes down to it, Georgia's going to be standing at the end. Kirby is championship focused. He is not show off against an FBS team focused.
I mean, who cares what happens against Kent State or against Marshall? Because Georgia has shown you that, and this is in the last 4 or 5 years, is when the games do matter.
Right.
And he got no problem putting 45, 50 on you. He got no problem putting 70, 63. No problem doing that.
That Ole Miss game a couple of years ago, yeah.
Danny Cannell. Yeah, we know you're just looking for clicks, but yeah, he's still butthurt so much. A Florida State guy about Georgia putting 63 on those guys, and a lot of folks are. But Georgia got no problem doing that. If you are a team that should contest them, you should match up with them. They've got no issue. But you got to decide what you have to gain from a game like Austin Peay. Right. If you think Austin Peay is a game that you should see everything you want to see as a Georgia fan and feel also warm and cozy moving into next week when the SEC starts, you need to readjust your sights. Just enjoy Georgia playing ball.
There you go. Enjoy watching these young players develop. These are freshman guys and sophomores out there getting it done.
And they should win. They should win 52-3. They should win something like that. If they don't, it's okay, because you won't see anything that Georgia's got. And you won't see the real Georgia Bulldogs until next week when they go to Knoxville. You won't see it, but we're okay with that. I'm just kind of giving you guys that. Georgia may give you everything you want to see, but don't. If you don't see it, don't get on social media and start talking about, well, Mike Bobo can't call a deep pass play to save his life. when you know that
you're up 21-0.
Oh, that's pretty good, right? And do you know what defense Marshall was playing, you don't know what their defensive backs were doing, how they were trying to prevent certain plays. You don't know that.
They stayed in
they were giving something
deep
up, and Georgia
cover
was
three
taking
the whole a deep cover three the whole game. Yeah.
So, yeah, throw that into double coverage if you want to look stupid. Yeah. But
unless you're Carson Beck, it seems to work out for him.
It does. Sometimes it does. But yeah, we just want to touch base with you guys.
Yeah,
we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll get back with you very soon and cover what happened Saturday afternoon against Austin Peay. Smooch, anything else?
No, man. Go Dogs. Let's do this.
Wrap it up, baby. We'll talk to you soon. For Smooch Moncrief, this is Troop Brinson saying so long. See you soon.
Countdown to kickoff, baby.